So we got to get on to the next segment, and this one is a good one. What do we got, Delilah?
I'm all about women empowerment. I mean, it's one of the things that I talked about with when bringing this topic into this group. I really respect women and their roles, and I think a woman's place can be in the NFL. And
Women in the NFL, man. If you already can't tell, you are surrounded by wonderful women. And in this show, one thing that we're definitely going to do is shout out a dynamic woman. So, who do we got today, Nicole?
Hopefully this works. All that glitter is gold. It's supposed to be gold because want to know why? Last week we might have covered some of the Falcons, and to balance that out with Tamika Reish, in her finding her way into being the fan and associate SVP. Last week she found the Falcons through Coca-Cola. Well, this week we're talking Pepsi. And I mean Pepsi because we're gold, and I'm talking Nancy Gold, okay? Nancy Gold, as in the black and gold. And that's right. You know where she works for? New Orleans Saints. It's a Saints kind of day today that we're talking about. And I just want to make sure that you guys know the reason why I relate this to Pepsi is she was recently asked, how did you arrive at the New Orleans Saints? And you know what she said? She said, it wasn't on my bingo card. That's, you never know, right? But she said she was originally from New York and she thought she would never leave the state. But as most New Yorkers, she says, tend to think, there is a few jobs on the business side of sports. So you don't often get to choose to go. But when she was working with Pepsi, from 2016 to 2021, she had the privilege of coming to the Superdome as a guest and as well, the atmosphere, she said, was incredible. Mind you, I've never been, so I'm living vicariously through her, what she says. And she said she remembered telling her husband, it was the most fun I've ever had at a football game in my life. The fans around us were so warm and welcoming. So yeah, later on, she became in 2022. That moment in time stuck with her, and she had heard from a recruiter who was looking for someone to fill in a current role, and it was an opportunity to steer the ship in terms of how the Saints brand is seen. So there really aren't any words to describe the team's connection to the city, and Hurricane Katrina bonded them like no other. Often people forget about Hurricane Katrina, how it affected the city. And that was like 2 decades ago. So a lot of people have never really quite known. But the team in New Orleans and the Saints really did become bonded through them winning that Super Bowl after the fact. So she was really, really happy. I do want to say, not only is she a vice president of brand strategy for the Saints. She also is in the NBA, and she does it for the New Orleans Pelicans as well. So I thought that was really cool. So she got it with the Benson. What is it here? The Benson Enterprises, and that is obviously another woman in the NFL, the owner of the New Orleans. So she got that position, and I also too. This is a woman in the NFL. So if you are in the United States, there is a opening job position that is 2 months old. And it's to do with marketing. So the New Orleans Saints are looking for a marketing manager to join their dynamic, passionate team. You'd be working alongside this amazing woman in the NFL as the VP brand strategy. So I just like how it's women empowering women who are also, giving them that space and that platform to do with what they may. And she is an amazing, amazing woman in the NFL. And she's worked really, really hard to get there. So I'm really, really proud to say that, yeah, You might ask, what is her job though, Nicole? So it's basically it's game entertainment, which is music, videos, the dance, the cheer teams, um, everything that makes into what the atmosphere creates. Oftentimes they say that, yeah, playing in the Superdome in New Orleans is pretty jarring because of the audience. Well, the audience and that passion and making that happen, that's where we get that magic from. So it all starts from there. So yeah, that is Nancy Gold, baby.
Woo!
That's it.
All right, Miss Nancy. I love it. I love it. I love it. She is dynamic, man. She is awesome. And it hits home when you say that it's just such a unity due to the fact of Hurricane Katrina, one of the world's worst things that happened to us as the United States. It's just the fact that it brings them all together, just the community, it really, really impacts them. And the fact that it happened in 2005 and it's still such a strong bond that brings everybody together. It's just a beautiful thing. But she is dynamic, man. That was a good one. I like that.
Yeah, too. She's
That
got her
was
hair,
awesome.
she's dynamic.
Ladies, anybody got anything to say about that? I mean, golly, who can follow that up? Where?
Well, I like that she's in multiple sports, right? Not just in the NFL, which is great. But I love that she has so much expertise and that she stresses so much that she does this for two major league teams, right? She does it for the Saints and the Pelicans. And so I think that's awesome. And I hope I see her continue to climb that corporate ladder in the NFL and keep doing big boss moves. So thank you for bringing her to our attention.
Man, that was beautiful.
To keep a crowd entertained and do all that is a heavy feat, because a woman does it for the University of Michigan, and I see everything that goes into what they do to keep a crowd going. So I give her a lot of credit that she does all that, because if you can't keep your crowd in it, you're not going to have very loud and rowdy fans cheering for your football team and doing all the different things that there's a lot we don't see off camera that they do to keep you entertained and to keep you going, and little things in between commercials. And so I give her credit for doing that. That's not an easy job to do. So good job, Nancy Gold. You have a heart of gold for doing it.
Let's go. Let's go. Look, Kate's dropping bombs today.
It really is.
Let's go.
I'm being very funny.
You gotta take up a career in rapping or something. You got the rhymes, girl. You got the rhymes.